Now, for this particular classwork, you are asked to provide the cation's oxidation number, the anion's oxidation number. The moment you get the oxidation numbers, you crisscross the charges mentally this time. You don't have to write the arrows in here. So remember, when we crisscross, the numerical value of the metal will become the subscript of the non-metal. And here also for the non-metal, the numerical value, in this case there's none, it's understood to be 1, it will become the subscript of the other element, metal, your metal here. So when you crisscross this, the result will be the chemical formula. And the chemical formula is written this way, wherein you write first the metal, second will be the non-metal, and all the numbers that you need to write there have to be written as a subscript. And if it's a 1 here, and you put it to the CA, remember that you don't have to write a number 1. That's the rule in chemistry. So that's understood to be a 1 here. And of course, these 2 here come from CA. That's why your iodine should have a subscript of 2. Do not ever write anymore the plus and the minus signs. We do away with that. There's no use why we need to use the plus and the minus anymore. So don't write the plus and the minus anymore. All you need to do is just transfer those numbers and make them subscript. So that is the final chemical formula for number 1. And when you are asked to provide for the chemical name, the only rule you need to remember is, there's only one rule. The non-metal's name will end with IDE. The rest of the names will not change. Only the IDE ending. So therefore, when we name it, whatever is the name of the metal, that's the name of it. So calcium is calcium. So I write it as calcium. However, the non-metal, the second element's name, I underlined it here to emphasize that you need to change it to IDE. So iodine becomes iodide. And I gave you a guide yesterday how to write the IDE ending. So this is your guide for the IDE endings. If you have not copied this, please make sure that you have that in your notes. Okay? So these are the IDE's reference for the non-metal. Do we have any questions for the first item? If there's none, we will proceed. Let's proceed to the second item. So the second item is magnesium and fluorine. So first is you need to look at your periodic table chart where we can find magnesium and fluorine. Let's see if when we find them, we will be able to know its oxidation number. So magnesium is Mg. Magnesium is Mg. Mg is here. Oh, finally, it has an oxidation number here. So we don't have to look at our list of ions. So it's 2 plus. So I'm going to write that down as Mg 2 plus. Fluorine is symbolized as capital letter F, and that is here, fluorine. And it also has an oxidation number here. So 1 negative. So fluorine is 1 negative, or simply a negative. Let's crisscross these 2 oxidation numbers. So mentally, the 2 will become as a subscript of F, and the 1 will be the subscript of Mg. So Mg will just be Mg with no need to write the 1, while the F beside it will have a subscript of 2 coming from Mg. So that's why there's a 2 there. And when we name it, how do we name it? The metal's name will not change, so we will just copy that. So that will become magnesium. And for the fluorine, INE will change to IDE, so that will become fluoride. So that will be fluoride, IDE. And that's how we do item number. For item number 3, it says plumbus and sulfur. Plumbus doesn't sound like an element's name because plumbus is an old name of a certain element. So if it sounds like this, it is highly possible that you use your list of ions for this. And because this is a metal, I look at my list of ions and I look at the first column. So I'm going to look at the first column and I go to letter P. So I go all the way down, then I see plumbus here. If you see plumbus, that's where it is. Then you go to the right side and you find it that it has an oxidation number of Pb2+. So all you need to do is copy that. So Pb2+. So here, it's going to be Pb2+, because that's exactly the oxidation number based on the list of ions. The next one is sulfur. If it's a nonmetal, of course, we're going to look at the right side of the periodic table. Sulfur is S. Let's look for S on the periodic table. S is here. You go up, oxidation number is 2 negative. So that's S 2 negative. And what do you notice with the oxidation numbers? Oxidation numbers have the same value. And I told you that if it is the same value, we have to simplify those numbers. How do we simplify 2 and a 2? They will become what number? 1. Thank you, Brian. So it will become a 1. So simply, both will just have a 1. So that will be just PBS. Because if it's a 1, you don't have to write the number 1. So the final chemical formula is PBS. And the name for this, whatever is the name of the metal, just copy it. So that's plumbus. So that's plumbus. And then sulfur, you'll just change the underlined UR to IDE. So that's going to become sulfide. Sulfide. And that is the final name for PBS. Let's go now to item number 4. Okay. Item number 4, it says tin V and oxygen. Now, tin is found in the periodic table in here. Tin. And when you go up, tin is not part of the pattern because it has a lot of options in here. So, tin actually is part of your list of ions. However, tin, let's first write the symbol SN so we don't forget. So you put SN. However, you see a V here. And I told you that the pattern, if you see a Roman numeral, that value of the Roman numeral will serve as its oxidation number value. V in Roman numeral means 5. So therefore, that V represents the charge value of tin. And because it's a cation, it should accompany a plus sign. So the 5 was taken right away to what is seen in the given. So that's how easy it is when you see a Roman numeral. So all you need to do is get the value of that, put it on top with its sign. So SN5 plus is tin V. For oxygen, O is here, go up, that's 2 negative. So O is 2 negative. So therefore, we have 5 and a 2 switch together. So the 2 will go to SN. So SN will have a subscript of 2. And the 5 of tin, SN will go to O. So it's going to be O5. For the name of this, whatever is the name of the metal, so tin V, just copy everything. So copy everything. So that's tin and then V. And then, of course, your oxygen will become, it will become oxide. So that will become oxide in here. IDE, oxide. Now, we are almost done with our last two. Let's do the second to the last. Let me raise this up. So we have aluminum and bromine. So aluminum is here. And finally, it has a charge in here, so I don't have to go to the list of ions. So it's Al3+. So aluminum is Al3+. Bromine is Br. Br is here where my pen is. You go up, that's 1 negative. So that's Br negative. So the 1 from Br will go to Al. So Al is just written as Al. And then the 3 from Al will go to Br. So that's going to become Br3. And for the name of this, it's going to become aluminum, just aluminum. So just write it as aluminum. And bromine, the underlined letters have to be changed to IDE. So that's going to become bromide, IDE. So aluminum bromide is the name. And the last item for today is strontium and chlorine. So strontium is Sr. And you go up to 2+. So Sr is a 2+. And chlorine is a Cl. Chlorine, so you go up, that's a Cl negative. And so obviously when we crisscross them, the 1 will go to Sr, so that's just Sr. And the 2 from Sr will go to Cl, so that's a Cl2. And the final name for this will become strontium for strontium, just retain it. And chlorine, the underlined letters, change it to IDE, so that becomes chloride. And that ends all the items for this particular